All right, it's time for this week's Dougcast. We're jumping right in. First time ever on the Dougcast. I'm a moderator between two participants in a tag team match for Warrior Wrestling. James, when is this match going down?
It's this Sunday in Chicago Heights, Illinois. This Sunday coming up.
Piggybacking.
Warriors, come out and play!
That's right. Our guest this week, the only WCW World Heavyweight Champion that we've ever had on our podcast, and also the only guy that's also killed WCW, David Arquette.
Hey, watch your mouth, Dennis. I'll powerbomb you right now.
I wish.
Man, it's a shame we had Chris Jericho on last week, and David Arquette still the only WCW World Heavyweight Champion we've ever had on the podcast.
I'm sorry for that. I am sorry for that, but that's not my fault either.
That part is true.
Very true.
Let's get into this. Let's start, David, with you. How did this match come about?
Well, apparently Frank the Clown wants to wrestle. And if you thought I was a joke, just wait till you see this guy in the ring.
James.
And honestly, the only reason I took the match is because Ellsworth was going to be there. And he's gotten a bunch of heat because, him being him.
Yeah, I know.
And I thought it'd be interesting for us to be in the same ring together since we've both gotten a significant amount of hatred.
Well, and you both are built about the same.
I don't know what you mean by that. I think people love me. I don't understand what you mean by heat. People love James Ellsworth. They don't say anything bad about me. I mean, I know you live in that world, and people have been talking bad about you for 18 years in the wrestling business, but not me. They love me.
That's right.
Wow.
Oh, they do.
Wow.
Really?
James,
I don't know. Maybe I'm watching a different show than you're on.
Now,
the one I see is you running away from girls and whatnot.
Oh, I just like to play hard to get. I like when they chase me around. It's fun for me.
Oh, good.
Hang on. I got to break in here and say, at least ask James this. James, David Arquette wrestled his first match, 3 broken ribs, a black eye. Doesn't that give him a little bit more respect in your eyes, though?
Wrestling's a very hard thing to do. So anyone that steps in a ring, I do have a little bit of respect for, because it's not easy. Like, when you take bumps and you hit the ropes and you get slammed, anybody that does it, I have at least a little bit of respect for, because, again, it's just not an easy thing to do. So, yeah, wrestling in that capacity, like Mr. Arquette here did, yeah, of course, I'll have a little bit of respect for that, because it's not easy. Again, like I said.
Now, David, you're fresh off the heels of, as I said, 3 broken ribs, a black eye. You're stepping in this ring. Are you 100%? Are you 80%? Are you 70%? Where is your health level right now for this match?
I can still feel my ribs a teeny bit, but I'm good. I'm good to go. I'm ready.
You're
I've
actually
been training every day. I don't. What?
You're actually on set filming a movie. How did your injuries affect filming?
Wasn't so bad. I mean, honestly, wrestling's far harder than acting. So, you might have a stun or two, but, taking bumps and just even hitting the ropes if you have broken ribs is pretty painful, rolls and all that. So, it is what it is, but I'm glad they're sort of feeling a lot better. I can actually sleep and whatnot.
Can we talk a little bit about your movie before we continue? What are you filming for?
Yeah, it's called Appalachian. It's based on a true story. I play a New York State police officer who busts up a mob summit in 1957. So he's just a small town sort of state trooper that has an idea that something's going down in his small town and ends up arresting 63 mobsters, and then they enact RICO laws because of that.
At the end of the movie,
he actually established that there was organized crime throughout America. It wasn't just New York City and Chicago.
Wow.
His name's Ed Croswell. Yeah, it's a pretty cool story.
At the end, does he wrestle James Ellsworth?
He does right in the middle of his filming, and please stay away from my face, James. It's where I get the big bucks.
Yeah, that's amusing. Yeah, you guys are talking back and forth. You're laughing together. You're having a lot of fun. That's cool. But let's talk about how David Arquette is actually a big James Ellsworth fan. He bought my action figure. Where'd you get that? Walmart, Target, Ringside Collectibles? Where'd you purchase the James Ellsworth action figure, David?
I did. I got it at Target. And you don't understand what I've done with this.
Do I want to know?
This action figure has had quite a bit of action, let's just say.
Oh, gee. What am I supposed to say to that? These are the guests you bring. Well, David, I'm talk to you a little bit. When I was a teenager, I was a big fan of the Scream franchise. So when I saw you on WCW at first, and you were, getting ready to Rumble, I was excited because I was a big David Arquette fan. Deputy Dewey was my guy in Scream, and then it happened. You won the WCW World Championship, but again, not your fault. I understand completely. But man, like, has anybody asked you? I'm sure they've had, but I haven't heard the answer myself. Like, did it ever cross your mind to maybe turn it down, say no, like, I'm not going to win this World Championship because I'm not a wrestler and these guys are way more well-deserving than I am, so maybe we shouldn't do this? Did it ever cross your mind?
How old are you, James?
I'll be 34 years old. I'm still a young man.
Okay. 34 years old. I've been acting for 29 years.
Wow.
So, it's wrestling, but it's also sports entertainment. So
that's right.
I have 29 years of entertainment experience. Yes, I wasn't a wrestler. But you're telling me, if you were put in the WCW ring, not that there is a WCW anymore, or WWE at this point, and when you were first sort of starting out or being introduced to wrestling, and you were offered the championship, you wouldn't take it? If you say no, you're a damn liar.
Right. No, I agree with you. I had two WWE championship matches against AJ Styles. And I did win one.
What?
I said I did have two WWE championship matches against AJ Styles, and I did win one by disqualification, so I didn't win the title. But I have been in championship matches myself, and I understand what you're saying. Of course I wouldn't have said no, but up until the point where I wrestled AJ Styles for the WWE Championship, I had been wrestling for 14 years, and maybe this was a little bit more deserving, a lot more deserving than you were to be in a World Championship match. What do you say to that, David?
I agree with you 100%. But by the way, it was an amazing match. And also, when they first brought it up, I did say this is a horrible idea. But then they explained it to me. The reason he picked me is because I was a real fan, and I don't know. I did a whole interview with Vince Russo. If you're interested in that, it's on the internet. But it's all old news now. I mean, the whole idea of this is coming back and learning. So I've been doing it for about 5 months now. I don't know. We'll see. If I'm entertaining.
And is that because
is
that because you just love like the wrestling business so much? Now you're coming back, wrestling only independents, which I think is cool. Trust me, I dig it. And yeah, like that moment of WCW there, everybody's still talking about it. Here it is, 18 years later, and people are still talking about that. So it wasn't 100% a bad thing. People are talking about it still to this day. But yeah, man, like my question is like, and I find it cool that you must love wrestling because you don't need to do it, and you're getting back in the ring and doing it, and I applaud that.
Thanks, buddy. I do love wrestling. That's really why I am doing it. I love the entertainment of it. I love the history of it. I love that it goes back to turn of the century. It was like this carnival circuit. I loved learning all the little things that, when I was in WCW, they never really I mean, I got a few pointers and tips and stuff, and I trained a little, but they didn't give me like a history lesson on it. Since then, I've been studying up on it. I've been watching, tons of independent stuff and WWE, NXT, Ring of Honor, New Japan, just like trying to familiarize myself with all the different leagues, which is a whole, career in itself, just watching all this stuff. But, I still don't barely know anything. So, that's one of the reasons I wanted to get in the ring with you, so I could, get some experience. I've, teaming up with RJ City, who I wrestled my first match back with. And, I'm just trying to learn, figure this, have fun with it and entertain the fans. And most of the kids that saw Ready to Rumble and me wrestle in WCW were little kids when it first came out. Now they're like in their 30s. So,
it's
a whole different world. A lot of the time fans actually like meeting me and I like meeting them. And I'd probably get along with wrestling fans more than, Hollywood A-listers. So to me, it's a better fit in a sense. I like the locker room. I like the meeting the fans. I like watching the matches, to be honest. I go to little indie matches all the time. That's sort of what I love about it. I don't love, I don't want to make anyone look bad. I want to, do matches that make sense and are constructed in the right way that it'll capture an audience. But I love the whole thing of it. I'm concerned about this Frank the Clown. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen there.
Yeah, James.
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 I like clowns, by the way. I love clowns. I love Bozo the Clown. I love Red Skeleton. I love all these clowns. And this guy, he's like, he's like from the Bad Clown place where the, John Wayne Gacy clowns whatever that clown's name is, I forgot.
Pennywise.
I hate those clowns. They've given Pennywise. They've given clowns a bad name. All these suckers.
Yeah, James, let me ask you a question. You end up with Frank the Clown as your tag team partner. Was Gilbert busy or something? How'd you get stuck with this guy?
Well, Frank the Clown, I guess he's a friend of the people that run Warriors Wrestling. And you know what, Frank the Clown's heat is in the wrestling business is he dates Mick Foley's daughter, Noelle Foley. So everybody's very jealous of him, and I laugh at it. I'm glad he's on my team because I think that's hilarious that people are jealous that he dates Noelle. But anyway, this is his first match. He's been training. And, David's had a handful of matches. RJ City, I hear, has some experience, so I'm excited to get in the ring with him. But, yeah, man, this is a recipe for, destruction here, and I think we're going to make some fun memories. I think it's going to be entertaining. I think the crowd's going to really enjoy it. I can't wait to put it together and just help out, get everybody there to have fun in Chicago Heights. But, yeah, Frank the Clown, man, he is – people just hate him, I think, because he dates Noelle, and it's hilarious to me.
Now, Dave, I had an interview with you a few months ago with Petey Williams, and I never asked you this question. RJ City is one of my favorite people to follow on Twitter. I always retweeted when you guys went back and forth before your match. I thought it was some of the best stuff going on Twitter. How did you two become friends or hooked up together? Because it doesn't seem like a likely, connection right there.
I mean, I'd say we're friends. He wouldn't. I'm a big fan of his. He's not so much of mine. He's kind of tolerating me. I'm pretty sure he's using me. I'm all right with that. I don't know. I'm using him to a certain degree to get experience and he's very knowledgeable about wrestling, helps me sort of understand different psychology behind it and sort of history and that type of thing. So, he's not thrilled about wrestling as my tag team partner. I've had I'm getting some special ring outfits made for us and, tights, and he's not, really happy about that. You got to have a look, and we didn't have a ton of time, and he wasn't in town, so I just kind of took the initiative and got them made. But, we'll see. It's probably going to be embarrassing for him. But, hopefully the fans will enjoy it. And that's really what it's all about. We're all out here doing this for the fans. I love the fans. Whenever I meet them, they're, I just love them. I love sitting in the audience watching matches. Probably where I should stay, but it's also a ton of fun to get in there and get crazy and just lose your mind for a little while.
I have a surprise for both of you. I was going to save it for the end of the interview, but I have a surprise for both of you guys.
I hate surprises.
Yes.
Frank the Clown's on there.
David, James, hello. This is unfortunately RJ City. James, I just want to apologize. I'm doing this to kind of get on a talk show here. It's the deal I had with David, and I'd also like to apologize to any fans that are listening. This is sure to be somewhat of a debacle, and David, you're a good person. You're a tough person. I gave you a black eye, and you're still wrestling with 3 broken ribs, which I certainly admire. However, technically speaking, quality of wrestling-wise, I think it would be in our best interest if our strategy was that you perhaps just stay on the apron and perhaps be more of an observer rather than a participant, more like a barnacle on the hull of this match, and let me handle the work and the wrestling and the entertainment that this show so richly deserves. God bless you.
Well,
I love some of you.
RJ.
No,
RJ,
that was just a recording.
Recording. Well, that's great. RJ, why don't you wear an apron and, stand on the apron? This guy, with all his, bravado, he thinks he's some sort of, God's gift to, entertainment. I mean, the guy's funny and everything, but he's got, a craft show on public access Canadian, channel that doesn't fit in this business for 29 years. I've worked with Marlon Brando. Yeah, I've acted opposite Marlon Brando, Kevin Costner, Kurt Russell, Steve Buscemi, Adam Sandler. This guy.
Goldberg.
Goldberg, Sting. I've been in the same matches same shows as Ric Flair. I toured, the world with Hulk Hogan. I mean, you guys gotta give me some respect at some point. I just can't take it. And, if he's gonna try to keep me on the outside of the ring, it might just be, all hell will break loose. I'll tell you that much. Because as much as I love wrestling and will, play the game, I also like a good dirty brawl. So I am not opposed to everyone going at it at some point. I don't care. Maybe it's a every man for himself match. Listen, I'll put tax on the whole goddamn thing. And I'll tell you one thing, I'll probably be the only one who would take a bump on those. So y'all should shut up. I got more balls than half the knuckleheads in this business. So I might be just some actor, but I'm crazier than any imagination. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
James?
You know what I like about David? He's kind of very Andy Kaufman-esque. Of course, I love Andy Kaufman. I'm doing the intergender thing on the Independents with the intergender world title. So I'm a fan of Andy Kaufman, and hearing you talk like that, it just sort of reminded me of it. Maybe it's the, you both were actors, you're both not very good wrestlers, but I'm very entertained by both of you. And this Sunday, it's funny, RJ City said he wanted you to stand on the apron and all that. That's the same advice I was going to give to Frank the Clown. So maybe if you guys were just like our managers, and then RJ City and I, the professional wrestlers, could just wrestle the match. You guys could be on the outside and get the crowd into it and, beat on the mat and, stuff like that. Probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, I'll manage you in Hollywood, and I'll try to get you like a Geico commercial or something. But I'm here to wrestle, okay, James? So you, RJ, Frank the Clown, whoever wants to sit in there and go ahead. I'm there to wrestle, guys got a problem with it, get out of the ring. Tag your partner. Whatever you got to do.
Dave,
I'm here to have fun. I'm here to entertain the masses, and I'm here to fly high. You hear me? Oh!
Slow down, Eddie the Eagle. I got to bring you back for a second because I do have a question. You're a lifelong wrestling fan, like all of us. If we were not wrestling fans, I wouldn't be doing a podcast. You two wouldn't be wrestlers. I have to ask you, now that you're in the ring, you've mixed it up, you're doing promos, you're in the business now, how has your view of wrestling changed? Sure, you stepped in and did a WCW thing once, and you did a movie, but now that you're actually learning and wrestling, how has that changed your view on the industry?
I love this industry. I love, my only problems with the arrogance of wrestlers. These, people who think, that they forget it's entertainment as well. That it's, I understand. I don't want to make anyone look bad, so I won't do anything that's going to do that. And, but, the hatred I've gotten is you have no, you wouldn't believe it. But, you got to have a thick skin in this business. You have to have a thick skin in Hollywood. So, I'm doing my best. I mean, I got a clear head. I'm not running around partying, being a maniac. I'm totally taking care of myself and training my ass off. And that's all I can do. I mean, I don't have a ring where I'm filming, so that's been a little hard. But I hope to get in one at least at least once maybe before I get to Chicago. But I still been going to the gym and keeping my, playing a lot of basketball and weight training. So hopefully, I'm not going to blow up too much. I mean, but again, I'm a tough little scrapper. So, I might not be, technically look the greatest, but, a lot of fans have come around for me. So,
no,
I mean, this is the first time I think RJ, who's going to be the baby face of this? I think it's going to be us. Nobody likes Frank the Clown, and despite what Ellsworth thinks, I don't know how they're going to respond.
Oh,
so,
don't worry. I'll make sure you guys are the baby faces. That's not going to be an issue. Dave, you said a lot of things there I do agree with. And I think after this match, after I show you any man with two hands that's fighting chance and hit you with some no chin music, I think we could be friends after this, because I did agree with a lot you just said. Wrestling's no different than a movie or a sitcom. It's entertainment. People do get blown out of proportion about it. It's just because the fans are very passionate and they care a lot about it. Wrestling fans are the most passionate fans in the entire world. And all of entertainment, like even more than music fans, they're just very, very passionate. But it is entertainment. Absolutely. It's like a movie and a sitcom, like I just said. And I get a lot of hatred as well. I've been called every name in the book, and you do have to have thick skin, like you said. And I agree with pretty much everything you just said. So, after Sunday, I hope we can be friends. And even if I break your arm, your leg, or something like that, I hope you'll understand.
Together? Why aren't we wrestling together, and then we put RJ with Frank the Clown? That makes more sense. But I got the costume made, so. Hey, what size are you?
1 star on each side. I guess that's how they're doing.
Actively recruiting. I love that, David, right there. As we wrap this up, I know you have to go back and do take 2 of your movie here. I have to ask you, you're going to be at All In Chicago. Do you have a schedule yet? Are you doing any signings? Did you bring any 8x10s? Do you have merch? If people see you, can they buy anything from you?
I have all that stuff.
I think I have a photo op or something at StarCast, something like that. I have a kind of it's a little odd for me. I feel bad selling merch. I mean, I know it's part of the business and all that, but and I'll do it at a horror convention, so I guess it doesn't really make sense. But wrestling's been a passion of mine and a love of mine. I've never really taken a dime for it, but I have a pro wrestling tees website, and all of that's going to my friend who got in a horrible accident. But I don't know. I'll be around. My wife didn't want to bring out my merch, so I'm out of luck on that. But I am having photo ops at StarCast, and I think I'm doing like a Q&A or something. I'm sure it's going to be like, okay, everyone who killed WCW, get on stage. And, they always try to set it up for some kind of backstabbing. So we'll
take
see what
a
happens.
bow.
Yeah. James, will you do me a favor during your match, after your match with David Arquette? Will you teach him how to promote and sell merch?
Oh, yeah. I do it all the time. It's like my passion. I love the hustle of, pushing merch and selling pictures and all that stuff. It's fun to me. It's a good time. So, yeah, I'm more than willing to help anybody with that because it is a passion of mine. But, yeah, Dave, I'm looking forward to stepping in the ring with you Sunday. I think a lot of people are going to be very entertained by it, and that's what it's all about. And once I heard you were wrestling again, I was jumping right on it. I was like, oh, man, we had, for the same reason you said earlier, we have to put James Ellsworth and David Arquette in the ring together because it's going to draw attention and people are going to react to it and be entertained by it.
Sounds good to me, buddy.
And Dave,
no hard feelings when I bust your head open. Not open.
Maybe we'll
unless you want to go that way, because I got news for you. I'm hardcore in a second.
You know what? As we send you home, I'll tell you one thing I've learned from Jay Moore, the comedian, who always said, when I'm selling a shirt, I'm not selling a shirt. People are buying a few minutes to sit and talk to me and shake my hand. So maybe if you start looking at it like that instead of like shilling, shirts with designs on it, it's an opportunity for the fans to come over and talk to you.
That's true. I do, and I love meeting them. So I look forward to meeting you too, Ellsworth. Thanks, Dennis. I appreciate you having us on your podcast.
There you go. Thank you so much, David. Don't forget, you'll be at Lucha Vavoom on October 24th and 25th also.
Yeah, Infinito. That's my luchador that I am.
You go. Dave,
that's my persona. The infinite time and space. Nothing ever ends. It's all a dream.
Like this interview. Yeah. No, I get it. David, thank you so much. I can't wait to have you on after this and see how many more bones get broken.
I'll leave you with this.
I don't even know what just happened.
I think he screamed his way out of the interview.
What an entertaining guy, man. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. David Arquette, ladies and gentlemen.
That did not go anywhere like how I thought it would go.
It was a lot better than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be fun, but that was I couldn't even beat the guy up too much because I was having so much fun listening to him. And like I said, man, a lot of points that he was making, I agreed with. So, he's obviously an intelligent guy who respects the wrestling business, and I applaud that. And I'm like I said, I was a fan of his movies, especially the Scream franchise. I love horror movies, and Scream was one of my favorites. And it's going to be cool for me, man, to step in the ring with them and and create some memories for the fans.
Now, you don't have to mention any names here, but are there people outside the industry that do other things, have gotten famous other ways, that you've seen get into the ring and it made you kind of mad?
I'm trying to think.
You don't have to name names, but just there's this one actor that blank, and I saw him do it, and he had no business. No.
I don't think little kids have any business taking bumps. That just happened, and I don't want to see that happen. That's
right. The 16-year-old girl, right? The Bailey fan.
Yeah, and she's cool, man. I talk to her all the time. She's just a nice little girl. She's a fan of mine, and I don't want to see her get hurt. She obviously loves wrestling, and she's training, which is cool. She's only 11 or 12, and she's training and everything. And I applaud that as long as they keep it safe. And I think her school is, from what I've seen, because it intrigues me. I'm like, man, this little girl is a big fan of Bailey, it's how she became famous a little bit, and she's a sweet girl, and her family's real cool. I've met them all at shows. Very, very, very nice people. And, like the controversial thing this week was, I guess she took a choke slam, and I watched it, and I was like, oh, maybe I wouldn't have choke slammed her, like it just, and, but, the girl's all heart, and when she gets older, she'll understand that maybe she shouldn't have done that. But she's okay. She didn't get hurt, which is good. And so the guy took care of her when he did it. And so, but, I have daughters, and I don't see little girls get thrown around, little boys or anything. It's just, like, dude, wrestling hurts. It does. Like, you never get used to taking bumps. It's always going to hurt. And little kids, they're just not ready for that. Like, their bodies aren't ready for that. Nobody's body, like the human body itself, wasn't made to take bumps. We're doing it despite that already. But but yeah, as far as it's entertainment. So if somebody like a Dennis Rodman or a Master P or whoever it was got in the ring because they were famous, it's to help our business. And the ones that like respect it, like David Arquette, we just showed me he did, like, which I already knew he did, but that was a kick-ass interview, and he really expressed that. And like when Floyd Mayweather wrestled the Big Show at WrestleMania, put on one hell of a match, like, and that was mostly Big Show, but still, that was a hell of a performance by Floyd Mayweather at WrestleMania. I don't get mad at it at all, man, especially to the ones that respect it and come in with a good attitude.
Now, he says David Arquette goes to a lot of indie shows. Now, that's been your life, going to indie shows. Can you name a couple celebrities, like you go out there and go, holy cow, Blank is out here. I didn't know he was a wrestling fan.
I think Macaulay Culkin's a big wrestling fan. Topanga is big, from
right.
Boy Meets World, a big wrestling fan. And a lot of people are, man. Like, I have football players, NBA players, NHL players, MLB players, like Adam Jones from the Orioles. I'm friends with now because of wrestling. Like, WWE especially, it's just a phenomenon, and people pay attention to it, know who you are, and it's cool to see. Like, yeah, I have a 16-year career. I've spent most of it on the indies, and with WWE, I've been associated with them for over 2 years now, and like I saw more actors and actresses and celebrities at WWE than I did on the indies. But you do see them coming in these shows, especially now that the indies are getting so popular. You see more and more of that, and I think it's really cool. Wrestling is supposed to be for everyone, and I think it's really, really starting to be that way. I think wrestling's starting to be cool again, so you'll see more celebrities go to shows, independent wrestling shows.
Let's talk a little bit about the structure of this match. This is something that will land on yours and RJ City's shoulders to put this match together. You have two inexperienced guys, and I'd almost even say two high-profile guys. David Arquette, huge actor. Frank the Clown, in the public eye due to who he's dating, whether he deserves it professionally or not. I don't know him. He still is in the public eye for that reason. How do you go about putting the structure of this match together? As David said in the interview, who's going to be the face? Who's going to be the heel? What's the story to be told?
To me, Frank the Clown and I are the heels. Like, I can go out there and, like, even if the crowd's cheering me, like some of these independent shows I go to, I get cheered a lot. See me on SmackDown, fun little character. I'll get cheered a lot. Unless I'm wrestling the girls, it's much easier when I'm wrestling the girl to get booed. But cut a promo, tear him down on the mic, him and his buddy, and and then they'll be the baby faces. We'll be the heels. Frank the Clown, he gets heat. He's not a wrestler yet. Like, he's training, he's trying, and this is his first match. And but he's good at getting heat. Like I said, I think people just don't like him because he dates Noelle because they're just jealous, which good for him, and it's a cool little gimmick. Like, people don't like clowns really, that wrestle, and then you put the match together. I'm gonna try to call most of it. I have the most experience out of everyone there, and it's got to be. This match is just fun. Like, you come up with fun spots, like comedy spots that are gonna get the crowd to laugh, And then, just stuff like that, man. Like, that's what people are expecting out of this. Nobody's expecting, the Steiner brothers versus the Road Warrior. Like, they're expecting a good time with this match, and that's what I plan on helping to give them.
I'm glad I got RJ City to record a little something. I thought that'd have been fun for you guys to hear. I felt bad because David through the whole thing's like, but RJ. I'm like, I'll wait until it's over to tell him.
That was funny. RJ, that was a good little promo. I don't know much about the guy, but he seems like he knows what he's doing. That was a good little promo that you just sprung upon us here on the Dougcast. I'm the star of this show. You don't even tell me the format, so we're gonna have to talk about that. I don't know if I look for a new co-host at this point, but we'll discuss that privately.
All right, let's wrap this up and talk a little bit about StarCast coming up. A big weekend for you. I know that you have signings on Friday and Saturday, I believe, right?
I have signings on Friday and Saturday, correct. Friday, 12 to 4. Saturday, 10 to 2. I have those no chin with the all-in logo, and it says no chin 8x10s that I'm bringing. And I put that on the internet today. It got a good reaction. So I'm doing that, especially for this weekend. Man, all-in's very special. Like, that's those guys. It's historic, and, Cody and the Young Bucks and all those guys from the Bullet Club. Like, I just saw them this weekend at a convention and shook all their hands. They're all very nice guys, and I'm so happy for them and that they pulled this off. And, hopefully we see more of this in the future because it's good for the wrestling business as a whole for people to succeed, especially good people like all of them. They're very, very good people.
I don't think anybody else could have pulled this off at this time and day. If you look at the indies, if it could have been done, it would have been done sooner by someone else. But it was a perfect storm from Dave Meltzer to Cody Rhodes to Conrad Thompson getting involved. This just seems like a perfect storm of events, and I don't know if it would have worked 5 years earlier. I don't know if it would have worked 5 years later, but right now it's just perfect.
Well, man, you failed to mention the Young Bucks there. Let me tell you something. Like, every arena I've went to, or independent show I've went to, or like Hot Topic I've went to, or grocery store, right? You see Bullet Club shirts everywhere, but mostly it's Young Bucks shirts, man. People love those guys, and it's because they're so entertaining, and they're so like athletic, and they're just so fun to watch. And I think a lot of the credit goes to them because people just are very, very into them. And Cody, how about him reinventing himself and just becoming just this big, huge star? And I'm just so happy for all of them, man, because again, I've met them all and they're all great guys. And you want to see good people succeed, or at least I want to see good people succeed, and they're succeeding. And wow, man, like I can't say enough good things about it. And I'm sure the show's going to be awesome. I'm sure everybody's going to be talking about it weeks after it's over with, and good for those guys. I'm glad to be a part of it doing the StarCast. I'm going to definitely check out the show while I'm there. And yeah, man, and then the day after I'll have fun beating up David Arquette. It's going to be a fun weekend.
And that's the only match you're doing, right? So far on the books is the Warrior Wrestling 2, right?
Yeah, man, just going down Friday, doing StarCast Friday, StarCast Saturday, and doing the Warriors Wrestling Sunday. And yeah, it's a packed weekend, and I'm working all weekend. There's no really other shows running Friday or Saturday in that area, and why would they?
Well, that's interesting because on WrestleMania weekend you have all these feeder shows that come in and make a ton of money. I would have thought that maybe this would have been one of those weekends, although every single person is booked to be at StarCast.
WrestleMania is 75,000 people, and it's a lot of people are so used to doing that every year. Maybe in the years to come, it's just 10,000 people. It's not, you're thinking there's 65,000 more people at WrestleMania, so 65,000 more people in town. But this is something new and this is something fresh. So it's maybe next year people will start doing that where they try to run around that weekend, to piggyback off of it a little bit. But WrestleMania, it's become a time-honored tradition for people to run the weekend in the city that WrestleMania is at. But again, there's 75,000 people that go to WrestleMania. So it's much easier for independent shows to draw, which 10,000 people is a lot of people too. But, it's a lot more easier when it's just that many people going to that one destination.
So would you say then, and I'm springing this question on you, that maybe a lot of eyes will be on Warrior Wrestling to see how they do this weekend on a first-time event, big, huge wrestling weekend? Or do you think that this is just going to be what it is and you can't really gauge off of this one show?
Well, I definitely think I did their last show. This is Warriors Wrestling's second show. I did their last one, had a good time. They had a good draw there. They had, around a little under 1,000 people for their first show, which is tremendous on an independent level. They put together a great card. Rey Mysterio was on the card, Austin Aries, like David Arquette, James Ellsworth. I think there's a lot of Tessa Blanchard's on there doing the mat. Like, they have a lot of great talent on the show, and it's the day after All In, so I don't know if people are flying out or if they're going to go to this show, but I think a lot of people do know about it, and they have a fantastic card, so I think it's going to do well. I do.
All right, and what are you selling as we are going in the promotion mode of this podcast? Let's talk a little bit more about StarCast. Where can people find you? As you said the times a few minutes ago, you'll be at Warrior Wrestling 2. What time does that card start? Do you know?
I believe it's at 7 p.m., if I'm not correct, but you can go on Warrior Wrestling's Twitter and check that out. It's all over my social media. I've promoted it everywhere. But, man, again, it's a great card. You get to see wrestling. Like, Rey Mysterio doesn't wrestle a lot of independent shows, and you get to see him on there. So that's huge. So come out and check it out while you can, because I don't know how much more of that you're going to see. But yeah, I'm happy to be a part of it. Happy to step in the ring with David Arquette. I'm very positive about wrestling right now, man. It's a good vibe. I'm very lucky and fortunate. In 2018, I've had a hell of a year. I've gotten to do a lot of independent shows. I've gotten to do WWE pay-per-views, SmackDown. Like, I've had a great year, and I'm just very, very positive about the wrestling business as a whole right now on an independent level. On a WWE level, I thought SmackDown tonight was very good. My girl Carmella did not capture the championship for the second time, and trust me, that hurts my heart a little bit. Because I'm always going to be a homer for Carmella. I say that numerous times on the Dougcast, but that's the God's honest truth. But yeah, man, I'm very excited about everything. I'm just excited to see what I'm going to be doing in the future. Right now, this weekend, I'm at StarCast, and I'm wrestling David Arquette, so I have a hell of a weekend lined up. And, yeah, just check me out on Twitter at Real Ellsworth. Check me out on Instagram, James Ellsworth Wrestling. And, yeah, get your No Chin 8x10 this week for a limited time. I'm only doing it at StarCast. And, as always, visit ProWrestlingTees.com/Ellsworth. Get your #rehire Ellsworth t-shirt. I'm going to give you a call and thank you. And yeah, man, that was another awesome edition of the podcast. We're rolling along here. These shows get better every week, I think, Dennis, and I think 99.9% of the credit has to go to me.
I would almost agree, except for that 1% is pretty big for me, right?
It's not a 1%, 99.9. So it's like a 0.01 percentage.
Yeah. I'll take that. That's a huge point, though.
Yeah, for you, for sure.
I'll take it at this point in the podcast. Don't forget, you can go to WrestlingPerspectivePodcast.com. You can find all the links where this podcast is, whether it's Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere you get your podcast, that is where we are. You can go to WrestlingPerspectivePodcast.com. Get the Dougcast there. You can get the Wrestling Perspective with Petey Williams and myself. 2 great podcasts. 1 feed. Go there now. Tell your friends. Subscribe. Blast all over social media. James and I do. We want you to join the family. James, let's go home.
Well, my spray tan looks great. Hope David Arquette has some respect for it. My hair looks beautiful. I'm ready for this match this Sunday against David Arquette and RJ City with my tag team partner, Frank the Clown. I don't care who my tag team partner was. They could put Hornswoggle on the apron. Hell, Dennis, they could put you on the Actually, I wouldn't go that far.
No.
But I'm ready to show David Arquette and his little buddy that any man with two hands has a fighting chance. Thank you, people, for listening to the Dogcast. Hashtag rehire Ellsworth. Let's get me back on SmackDown Live.
I'm sorry, RJ City. All right. Good night, everybody.